Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm playing with 3 different challenges. I'm using my Counterfeit Kit challenge for the papers. I'm doing the Sara Scraps Rediscover challenge with the 5 ingredients and 100 pattern paper challenge. So there's a lot going on here today. So for the 5 ingredients for Sara Scraps, it included 4 bright colors on your papers. It included 4 different manufacturers. It included thickers, letters, washi tape. Yeah, I think that's everything. So I chose these 2 pictures of my kids in our trailer camping. They used to have a bench seat that folded down into a bed, and they slept together. And so they'd go to sleep and we'd put them to bed, and then my husband and I would watch the fire for a bit, and then we'd come in. And so I snapped this picture the one time coming in because they were both snoring and like comfortable and in their own, like, it was cute. So I decided, why not? So just deciding that I want to mat my photos on. So this one of my oldest is a 3.5 inch square. So this is going to be 3 3/4 inches for the mat. And then I think this one is 4 by 5 is what it ended up being. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/4 is what I cut the mat for, so that the mats are the same width. But I thought the white would make it stand out just a little bit better with all the color that's going to go on here. So my manufacturers are American Crafts, My Mind's Eye, Recollections, and Studio Calico. So look at me have 4 different. And yeah, and they just went really well together. So I'm super happy. All 4 of these came from my Counterfeit Kit challenge, so I didn't even have to dig into anywhere else, which is awesome. And then with the sketch, there is a whole bunch of banner pieces. So I'm going to take these papers, and the purple one is going to get cut into a banner. The black and white one is going to get cut into a banner. And then I'm eventually going to, add some washi tape to one. So I'm going to use my trimmer and cut the banner pieces for this one. The other one I just cut because, I don't know. But if you wanted to be really particular, this is a good way to do it, to make sure that they're even. But you don't have to. Whatever you want. So that one's done. Yay. And then I figured I cut it too short. But that's okay. So I'm going to cut it in half and put it at different spots because that's where it was on the sketch anyway. I really like these daisies. I think this is super cute. When I'd first pulled this into my kit, I thought I'd do some mixed media on it, but not this time. But I have a whole big scrap, so maybe when I do my scraps for the 30th, because I'm on scrap duty for Counterfeit Kit Challenge this month, so I actually got to make myself some scraps because right now I have very little. Like I can't even do a layout right now. Whoop! Gotta use some papers, make some scraps, so I can use some scraps. And then I am gonna fussy cut these butterflies. That was one of the stipulations for one of the pattern papers for the Sara Scraps challenge that Kathy posted, was you had to fussy cut some of them. And man, was it hard to cut into this paper. It's obviously, if you know this paper from Paige Evans, it's an old piece of paper, but yeah. But I love it, and it's pretty, and I'm happy I did it. Yay. But oh my goodness. And I did show you some of the fussy cutting on screen because I did. And if you noticed, keeping your scissors in the same spot and then moving the paper is usually an easier way to do the fussy cutting. And then I did the rest of those off screen. And then this is my washi tape, and I'm making a banner out of this. And since they're sleeping, I thought this gold with the solar system would be cute. And that's not going to stay there, but I thought it would. And then I pulled out some tags. So I pulled out some orange and some purple ones. And these are, I think they're called Studio G, but they're from like the dollar store. So I have a ton of them. I've had a ton of them for a while, and I'm looking for more solids in the orange and the purple, because I have orange and purple on here. So now I have my 4 bright colors. I have my washi tape. I have my 4 different manufacturers for paper. Um, and still working on the sketch. So Sara Scraps right now has a challenge on for January for a no spend challenge. So I am going to play along with that, except for there was 2 things. I had already pre-ordered the glass mat that I have underneath me. That this is the first one I'm doing. Tomorrow I won't have it. Thursdays I won't have it. And then Friday I will have it for the rest of them. So, and I don't have magnets for, well, I have 1 magnet for it, but it's not downstairs in my craft room yet, which is funny. But yeah, so I did do that for spending, and then I do get the Better Press Society kit that I've committed to, so I will get that for spending, but I won't spend anything else this month because I have a lot of stuff. I really do. So I'm just going to trim that off a little bit because I might as well keep that scrap because it's such a pretty paper for my mind's eye. And then the other one I'm playing along with, so I can just explain it a little bit more, is the 100 paper pattern paper challenge. And that is both our Facebook groups. And that is to use, the challenge is to use 100 pattern papers in the year. So today I get to say I used 4. Yay! So that puts me at 7, and I'm only counting, I could count all the papers I use, but I think I would get to 100 really, really quickly. So I am going to count the ones that I do for the challenge for Tina, and we'll see how it goes. Because she posts a challenge every Sunday. This week it was a sketch, so which was from Sketchabilities, and it was at the beginning. So, and that's how I do a layout, is I look at the sketch, I decide kind of what I want to do, and then I don't look at the sketch anymore, and I just go with it. So I know that like the main parts are the flag bits. I know that there's the flowers on it that are at the top and the bottom corners that are kind of tying in. And I know that there's the tags. So I'm keeping the core part of this, except my flowers are now butterflies, and my banners are in a couple different spots, and I have, I think, 1 more tag than what was in the sketch, and that's totally okay, because sketches are for inspiration, and there is no wrong way to do this. So just as long as you're happy with your layout. So I thought I wanted those ones lined up. You can see I made another black banner piece. So I think I have 1 more banner piece on here too, but I thought I needed some black on the other side just to balance it a little bit. But that's okay. And then I did cut off the bottom of these tags because it was already on there, and yep. And so these are this is going to be my letters. They're also thickers. And then my other one that I'm going to use is also a thickers, and it's going to count for my thickers. So, and I do have a mixed font title, so it's going to be Sleepy Time. I love those ones with the yellow and the pink. And then I pull out these ones, and these ones are so old, and this time does not come off very well. So in a second, you'll see like it rips the paper, like the backing paper, totally sticks to it. And I'm like, ah. And then they do crease. So this time is a little creased, but I'm still going to use it. But it was getting this bits off because in the middle you're still going to see them, so you kind of have to get it off. So I'm going to place my time, and it is going to go across my picture just the tiniest bit, and then the sleepy is definitely going to go across. I think it hits both. Yeah, it hits both pictures, and I'm just going to nestle it in with that time. And there's my title, which is in a similar spot to the sketch. And now I'm going to try and sort out where I could put these butterflies. So I think I have 7 of them. 6 of them? 6 of them. I have 6 butterflies. And I thought those were cute. I'm not sure which kiddo's page this will be, but I did write down what photos these are so that I can print them again and do a page from the other kiddo. The page might not look like this at all. Who knows? I think I have enough to do most of the stuff the same right now, but we'll see. I do not have them posted, so. And then I am getting these butterflies down, and I'm using a zot on each of their wings. And look at, I've almost used these big ones up. If you've watched me before use these, you know I'm not the biggest fan of the zots, but this one's done. Woohoo! And then, so I do put glue on the center of the butterflies, and then the adhesive zots on the wings, so it adds quite a bit of dimension to those wings. And it looks like they're coming off the page, and you'll see in the close-ups when I have my close-up photos actually how much shadow and dimension that actually adds to the page. So, and then I'm just placing the butterflies so that they are on kind of contrasting colors, so that like the green one is tucked but not on the green background, because I didn't want them to get lost. And then I'm all out of zots, and I do want to prop this one wing of the green up. The other is tucked underneath the picture because it's not a full butterfly, and I still wanted to use it, so that works. Just looking at what I have, what else do I need? I have all of the prompts now for the Sara scraps, and then in the layout for the sketch, there was splatters, and instead of splatters, I'm going to use some gold sequins everywhere because I wanted to tie in the gold of the washi, and why not? Kind of like is a flutter train, but or like a butterfly trail, but not. I'm thinking of it like very sparkly dust. Because why not? Because Tinkerbell's on that. You can't really tell, but that blanket is Tinkerbell. You probably can now that I said. So I thought that would be cute with the sparkly. And then on that tag that is mostly white with a little bit of purple, I'm just going to write camping on it. And then I was like, what is the date? I can't remember the date. So I am not going to guess. I'm going to look it up and use my pen later and put that in. And then I decided I needed something in the tag holes. So I pulled out this black first, thinking that maybe the black would be a nice addition. But I think, so I'm going to play with it. I want some movement with the tags, but I think this is going to be too much. I'm like, maybe, I don't know, if I just do them hanging. I don't know. I'm going to pull it right off. So this is some graphic 45 ribbon, and put them through to see if I'd like. I'm like, no. And what do I do with it? No. So I have this twine. I'm going to use the twine instead. I'm going to put pink in the orange and orange in the purple, because I don't have purple. And because these tag holes are super, super big, I'm going to make the loop go through really loose. And then I'm going to put some glue on the ends for where I want it to sit for those strings, so that they don't move around the page, but it kind of looks like they will. And then there's a big dollop of glue underneath where the knot is, so that it stays done up, but it still has that loose quality. That, like, they look like they're loose, but they totally aren't. So then that one's done. I'm going to do the 3 on the bottom, and I'm trying to decide how I want this to go. So I'm going to do this middle one first, and up and around. Yeah, sort of. Yep. It's a little longer than I wanted, so I'm just making it a little bit more even before I cut the other piece off. And then I'm going to cut 2 pieces of the orange right away, so that I don't have to cut them both out. Just get it done. and then trying to decide which way I want the loop to go in. So there is some fussing here, but it's almost there. And then one more. And then there'll be one more at the top because where my journaling is, I didn't put one in. And then I didn't realize that for a minute. A hot minute that you don't have to watch because I took it out. I was drumming my fingers on my board to be like, what else do I need? Do I need anything else? I'm like, oh, that take hole's empty. So getting this glued down. Yep. Right there, I want it glued. That looks okay there. And then, yep, here we go. And then this one is going to get orange too, and it's going to get a super long one because I wanted to add some movement to the top here. And I really like how this looks. And I am going to glue it right onto the picture. And then the other ends. And here are my close-ups. I will have some still shots here right away to follow as well. And in my description box below, I will link the Counterfeit Kit Challenge, which has challenges all month, every month long. Sara Scraps, who has challenges all month long, and 100 Pattern Papers, which also has challenges every single week. And thank you so much for watching today. If you liked my video, I would appreciate the thumbs up, subscribe, comment. I always get back to those who comment. Thank you so much and have a great